Hello everyone and welcome back to the screencast. It's on shapes, it's on similar shapes, and in particular we're looking at how similar shapes work with area. Now it's really important that you know your formulas for area, so the formula for a area of a parallelogram, a rectangle or square, and a triangle, because we're going to use all those today, so make sure you know your formulas for those. But first of all, what are similar shapes? So we should have done this before, but two shapes are similar when one can become the other after resizing, flipping, sliding, or turning. Area is the term used to define the amount of space taken up by a 2D shape or surface. We measure area in square units. So just remember that. It'll be centimetres squared, metres squared, millimetres squared, but today we're working in centimetres. So let's have a look at our first question. We've got the area of rectangle A is 12 centimetres squared. Work out the area of shape B. So what we'll find is we've got two shapes today. One is being enlarged. We're always looking at enlargement today. One has been enlarged and we need to work out that scale factor of enlargement. So it's really beneficial that we're bringing lots of areas together today. So if you've watched the screencast on scale factor of enlargement, this is going to be really easy for you, but you might even learn about scale factor of enlargement anyway. Let's forget about shape B for a start though. Let's work on the information that we've got over here. So let's read the information again. The area of the rectangle A is 12 centimetres squared. Work out the area of shape B. Forget about shape B for now. We've got some information that we need to find. We need to find this length here as a starting point. So we know the formula for area of a rectangle is base times height. Area is base times height. We know the height, but we don't know the base. So we can use this information to help us out. We also know what the actual area of that is. So let's write that down now. The area is 12. The base we don't know, but the height is 4. And what we're going to do is basically we're going to change the subject, so we're going to find out what B is. How are we going to do that? Hopefully you can say, or I can hear you say, divide both sides of the equation by 4. So let's do that now, because we've got B timesing by 4. The opposite of timesing is divide by 4, divide by 4. We can find out that B equals 3 by doing that. So we now know what the base is. The base is 3. So we can write that down. That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? This rectangle A equals 12 centimetres squared. The area, it's 4 times 3 gives us 12. So we know we are correct. But now we need to work out what the area of shape B is. To do that, we need to find out the base times the height. We know that this shape here is similar, which means it's in proportion to. So how much has this shape been enlarged by scale factor of enlargement? How do we get from 4 to 12? Yeah? How do we get from 4 to 12? Well, we've timesed 4 by 3 to get it to 12. So this shape over here has been enlarged by a scale factor of 3. It's been times by 3. Now, 4's been times by 3, but 3 is going to get times by 3. And if we do that, we get the base, which is going to be 9 centimetres. See? It's 3 times the size. This is 4 centimetres, this is 12 centimetres, it's 3 times the size. This is 3 centimetres, this is 9 centimetres, it's 3 times the size. So now we can work out the area of shape B by writing out the formula again. Area equals base times height. We know the base, that's 9. We know the height, which is 12. So we go 9 times 12, and that gives us 108 centimetres squared, remember, because that is what we do with area. Now, I know that is there's a lot there to take in, but the key parts here are, do you know your formulas for area? Do you know how to rearrange an equation and make, let's say, the base the subject or whatever. If you've got those skills to pay the bills, then you're going to be fine. If you don't, then it is going to take a little bit longer. You might need to watch this a few times to get it right. But I'll go over the next one with you again. So if you feel confident, you could pause the video now and give this a go, but if not, I'm here to help. So here we go. The first one up is we're going to try and find the height, aren't we? We know that the base is 3, but we don't know what the height is. So we write out the formula, area equals base times height, and we know what the area is. The area is 15. We know what the base is 3, but we don't know what the height is. So here we go. How do we find the height? Well, we divide both sides by 3, making h the subject, and we end up with the height equaling 5. So let's bang that in now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to work out how much shape A has been enlarged by. So how do we get from 3 to 9? We get from 3 to 9 by timesing by 3. So if we want to find out the height of shape B, then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to times 5 by 3, which is going to give us 15 centimeters. Let's write the formula again. Area equals base times height. We know what the base is. We know what the height is, so we can write that down. 9 times 15, and 9 times 15 gives us 135 centimeters squared. So hopefully that makes a lot more sense now, and you're finding this pretty accessible and pretty easy to do. Let's go and do another shape now. Now we're looking at triangles. So I'm not going to give you everything here, but I am going to give you the formula. The formula for a triangle is area is base times height divided by 2. That's all I'm going to give you. I'd like you to give this a go yourself and then come back when you've done at least some of it. Remember, the first step is to take away the letters and input the values that you know. Pause the video, give it a go, come back and see if you've got it right. So here we go. We know what the area is. That's 16 centimeters. So we can write that down. We don't know what the base is, but we do know what the height is. The height is 8, so let's write that in. So we've got 16 equals base times 8 centimeters divided by 2. Now this is where some people get a little bit confused. What do they do now? Do they divide by 8? No. You've got to times by 2. So we're going to times both sides by 2. And we end up with 32 equals base times 8. Hopefully you know what to do now. We're going to divide both sides by 8. And it's going to give us that base value, which is 4 centimeters. So we can put that in. So now we're working on how much the shape has been enlarged. This shape's been enlarged by a scale factor. How do we work that out? Well, what's the difference? How do we get from 8 to 16? We timesed it by 2. So we know with that bottom 4, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to times that side by 4 as well. And we're going to end up with 8 centimeters on the base. Once we've got that information, we can reuse our formula, can't we? Now, if you've got to this point and you've been a little bit behind, you can pause the video now and do the rest yourself. But if you're soldiering on, then great stuff. Let's go. So we've got the formula being area equals base times height divided by 2. Take away the information, take away the letters where we know the numbers. So we've got area is 8 times 16 divided by 2. We work all of that through, put that into our calculator, and we end up with 64 centimeters squared. Okay, everyone, we are one question away from the quiz. So it's very important now that you do this one on your own fully. Please do this one on your own fully. Pause the video now, give it a go, and only come back when you're fully finished. Step 1 is to write out your formula. Area is base times height divided by 2. Now take away the letters and input the numbers. We know what the area is. That's 18. We know what the base is. That's 4. But we don't know what the height is. We know it's divided by 2. Now we're going to times both sides by 2. So 18 times by 2 gives us 36 equals 4 times h. Remember, we're going to make h a subject, so we're going to divide both sides by 4, and we're going to end up with h equaling 9. So let's put that in now, 9 centimetres there. Now let's work out the scale factor of enlargement. How many times bigger is the new triangle? Well, it's twice as big, isn't it? It's been times by 2. So we're going to do that to this side as well. We're going to times that one by 2. And we're going to end up with the B height being 18 centimetres. Now it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let's write out the formula again. I know you're probably sick of writing out the formula. Area is base times height divided by 2. Input all the values. 18 times 8 divided by 2. And it gives you an area which equals 72 centimetres squared. And that's it. There we go. We are going to do the quiz now. Now I will help you out a little bit. The formula for the area of a parallelogram is exactly the same as a square or a rectangle. It is base times height. That's the only piece of information I'm going to give you. The rest is down to you. I'm sure you're going to do absolutely fine. Way you go, everyone. Give it a go. Come back only when you've done it. And only try this if you feel confident. Don't be doing it if you don't feel confident. Go back and watch the video again. Way you go. So answers are here now. Let's go for it. We can see there that our final answer is 180 centimetres squared. And this shape was multiplied by 3 is 3 times as big, isn't it? Between 4 to 12 is 3 times, 5 to 15 is 3 times. You can see all the information is written out. If your answer is slightly wrong, you need to track back and trace where you went wrong. But I'm sure most of you, if not all of you, have absolutely nailed this today. So really, really well done. As per normal, make sure you write a revision card or leave a comment for me in the section below for copies of the electronic versions. As always, it's been a pleasure helping you with your maths today. Hopefully you feel you've got a little bit better. I really feel positive about your success, so hopefully you're feeling positive about it as well. Well done.